night, but as it grew dark, we decided to build a fire. We collected some branches, crumpled some newspapers, and with the flick of a match, a friend of mine lit a few strategic corners around the fire pit, and we gathered around to watch the fire build. And then we watched. And we continued watching. And then we watched some more. Not saying anything, just standing there, mesmerized by the flame. Looking back, it must have been a pretty funny sight. 7 grown men standing there, jaws dropped, dumbfounded, like little kids by a bright and shiny object. A story is much like a flame. Like a flame, a story that comes from the heart connects to the heart of its listeners, leaving them mesmerized and dumbfounded. Like a raging fire, a vicious rumor can burn bridges between people. Or like the heat of a fiery furnace, a story, a shared narrative can forge relationships as strong as rock. And just like the smoke from a fire rises into the air, a powerful story uplifts the human spirit. The flame energizes and excites and soothes and empowers. It shines a warm light into an otherwise cold and empty darkness. The flame is change. But change is scary. We often see change like a raging fire. Ooh, don't get too close. It's hot. Ooh, let's not play with it. It'll burn. But then we come to realize that it is through change that we realize who we really are. And just as the fire peels away at the external layers of an object, so too a story penetrates the flesh and pierces the heart to reveal our true essence. The flame is choice. As Abraham chose to step into the fires of King Nimrod, having nothing but faith to shield him, we can choose to step into the fires of our fears, having the faith of knowing that the fury of no external flame can extinguish, can even dim the light that's within. The flame is struggle, because it is our decision to continue fighting on even when there's barely even a spark left. Because when it comes down to that moment, when you risk everything you have for the sake of everything you hold dear, our flame is our truth. We know fire to destroy everything with which it comes into contact, and there's certainly no shortage of people out there who are trying to dim your flames. Yet it is by the measure to which you kindle your own truth that you allow your light to ignite and to inspire that light in others. Your flame is power. Just as the burns from a fire leave a lasting scar, so too your story, your voice, has the power to leave an indelible impact on those who hear it. Your flame is your potential, because it is only through stepping into the flame that you're able to let your light shine forth. So tonight, let us step into the flame. Let's let our light shine forth. Let's let our flame excite and soothe. Let it empower and energize. Tonight, let's burn our fears. Let's burn our fears. Let's burn our doubts. Let's burn our weaknesses. And let's rise. Let's rise with the flame. And let's rise as a flame fulfilled, as a flame effervescent, as a flame free. And raise with it the spirits of those who hear it. Just as you raise the bar for what it means to have power, for what it means to be true. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the flame. I'm very excited to welcome you to our first rendition of the spoken word at Edna Carr in a number of years. We have a very exciting lineup that includes an array of extremely talented students, as well as some teachers and some alumni who've come here to share some of their work. So before we begin, I just want to ask that there be no interruptions during the presentations out of respect to the performance. So please, at this moment, take some time to turn off your cell phones, put them on silent or vibrate, so it does not distract the performance. And I just want to reiterate for those who are about to perform that the performances and the pieces today are to be clean and are to be hate-free. We are an organization that strives to inspire and to ignite the light in others through love and through support. So without further ado, allow me to welcome our first presenter today, Winfield Barnes.
How y'all doing? My name is Winfield Barnes. My rap name is Millions, and I have a piece for you all tonight. Try to imagine this tragedy while holding one eye open. Impossible, cause it take a million pupils to notice. But with two eyeballs, suddenly I saw explosions. The flame was in disguise as myself posing. Meaning every and anything you wanted to mean. Creating rhymes, eyeing amateur MCs. Cream. You might understand what I say, but not what I mean. Both of my parents are human, but bought the life of machine. I scheme on the low though. Lyrically, I'm loco. I'm getting money, you can analyze it in my photos. And if somebody hating, they can see the front door. Mess around and head, but a hater like Ocho Cinco. This is easy as a free throw. People falling off, I don't save them, I'm no hero. My patience at zero, my homies said they tired of waiting. If they ain't infatuated, they get the wildin' and taken. For my family, I'm obligated. Bull crap eliminated. I'm a ball like the homie Ray Nagin. Better yet, I'm a ball until they find a cure for cancer patients. Ain't make it yet, but I made reservations. I'm greatness. Just look in the mirror and face it. Started from the bottom, but we made it out of that base. Millions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Winfield Barnes. You know, funny enough, I didn't even know Winfield was going to present until 5 minutes before the show started. He's like, Mr. Cherney, I got this little song, you know, maybe it's worth presenting. And it's like, okay, Winfield, let's hear it. Boom. Look at that. Okay, so without wasting any energy, let's have our next performer, Mr. Quentin Batiste.
How everyone doing? My name Quentin, and I have a piece for you all. What if I told you my soul was lost, my vision bad, but I could see me and myself in the future? Oh, love. I'm really nervous. It's my first time. Yeah. What if I told you my soul was lost, my vision bad, but I could see me and myself in the future? Man, I don't want to go. I'm sorry, everybody.
I guess moments happen, everything happens for a reason. Because I have the distinct pleasure of teaching Quentin, and I know that this is something that he can do. But I was also asked at the last minute earlier this morning to step into this moment, and I'm just as nervous as him. So in this moment, I'm going to go first and give him the support he needs to climb this mountain. All right. Okay, so based on the introduction, the flame is a moment where you have to reflect into yourself and see who you've become. There's no appropriate title to the poem other than the word pride. Pride, P-R-I-D-E. Let me tell you what Edna Carr means to me. Standing at the intersection of pain and suffering, I opted to travel further to see what I could find. In a hopeless, desperate attempt to obtain a peace of mind to help me get through and endure such a tumultuous and troubling times. I ran across some letters that used to be very familiar to me. The first one I met was old Mr. P. Mr. P was representative of the pain I had previously endured. A few steps later, I ran into the letter R, and I immediately felt a sense of resentment as to why I was facing this battle all over again. Rather than letting her in, I decided to look up and find what might be buried within. Upon a reflection deep into self, I realized that God places his toughest battles on his strongest soldiers. So there must be a reason to experience a third repeat of this cancer season. As I continued to press forward, I ran into a voice that I could not quite make out. I saw the letter I, but I couldn't quite figure out. Was it impatient, impulsive, incomplete, or infuriated? Not being able to make out this familiar face in the distance and unsure of what to do next, I opted to see if I could find the friend that I called best. Over the years, the letter D, depression, despair, as I sometimes called her, and I had formed a deep bond. It was one where when things got hard, I just fell into the comfort of her outstretched arms. Just as she had always done, depression told me to step aside and let her handle this one. And trusting myself to this old friend, I not long after ended up next to Mr. E. And once again, the only feeling left in me was the one they called empty. Attempting to return to what I had come to call home, I walked up to 3332 Drive, and I immediately felt an innate sense to strive and step back into the classroom where not only I, but my students could begin to thrive. Walking up the long hall felt like forever, but it was because I bumped into those same old, very familiar letters. There again was P, R, I, D, and E, but this time it was truly a magnificent and profound sight to see. Pain was no longer P, because it had been replaced with prayer, passion, and purpose, which no longer left me the same. R was replaced with a spirit of rejuvenation, because I'm a part of what they call the wonderful purple and gold Cougar Nation. All right. The eyes that I could not make out on the road were now clearly identifiable. It was involvement, intrigue, innovation, and inspiration. Another great quality of this solid and strong Cougar Nation. The letter D, a simple message. It was one of direction, simply rooted in dedication and determination as a means to the ultimate final destination. The last letter at the end of the hall was the letter E posted on the wall. Right underneath his name, it truly allowed me to see why it was to Car that I came, not seeking fortune or fame. E represents everything, education, empathy, and excellence, which is the most important of the three. As I finally reached the door of my class, I realized that the battle had already been won, because the Cougar Nation of Edna Carr is second to none. So now I ask you to see the pride in the Cougar as he grows in grandeur, brilliance, and grace, overstanding many complications along the way during the evolution of his great race. Can you see the pride in the Cougar as she teaches her young, oftentimes standing alone as one? See, the great Cougar teacher knows that they must learn, strive, and go, even if the seeds have to be planted in the stone or the snow. Can you see the pride in the Cougar as they stand together as one? See, it is this unified bond that allows the Cougars at 3332 Drive to be second to none.
All right, we're gonna do this again.
All right.
What if I told you my soul was lost, my vision bad, but I could see me and myself in the future being the boss, giving orders in order to inspire my supporters. I need someone to give me a part. Tell me I'm loved. Tell me you proud of me, cause a lot of things change and it's taking a whole lot out of me. My daddy don't love me, or maybe he do, but he just not around, and I still don't know the answer to the question to why my family is so split apart. Maybe it's the devil doing, I don't know, it's so unknown. Okay. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Let's get another round of applause for Miss T. It's often underestimated how much guts and how much courage it takes to come and reveal the contents of your heart on this stage in front of a lot of people, some you know, some you don't. And make yourself feel vulnerable, and through that vulnerability, you have strength. So I want to congratulate Quentin and Misty for sharing that. And